What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sachel, and today's trade recap resulted in about $5,000 trading NQ. I'm gonna go over the setups because there was two setups that were pretty easy. The first one was better than the second, but the second was a banger as well. The second setup was about an A. The first setup was also about an A. Wasn't A plus, but it was a very, very good trade, and it's something that you definitely should not have faded. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to go over and show you guys exactly what I saw in today's market. Let me go ahead and move my camera up to the top right. And these are the plays of the day. These were beautiful, beautiful plays. It was really cool because, I mean, we haven't traded basically all week. And Friday was the best day. Usually Friday, we don't get too much action. But since we had red folders at 8:30, it made the price action actually tradable. Now, with that being said, if you would have woken up early, you would have seen that at 8:30 we get this news. We get this news candle right over here. With news candles, you could call those data wicks, so you can mark out their data highs and their data lows. Right here, I was able to mark out their data low and not the data high because we basically took that out almost immediately. And what the market did was market pumped to the upside, and we were able to put in a bearish SMT with ES. ES put in a lower low, so it didn't go this high. ES was like about down here, so this is why we marked this out, meaning this SMT is confirming us that the market wants to push lower. So we have a draw on liquidity. Draw on liquidity is basically where you want the market to go. You have your draw on liquidity. We know we want to go down. We have ES basically confirming to us that ES is actually wants to go down. So with that being said, basically all we need is an actual IFVG, something that looks promising. As you can see, we have this pretty big IFVG that we failed to cook once, but we allegedly come down. Allegedly, we come down and we're finally able to inverse that gap, closing below all these wicks. And with that being said, we get the IFVG, the last line of defense right before this low right here. Usually with trades like this, you want to go break even pretty early as soon as you can, just because we're at all-time highs and you don't want to get caught up in some chop. You don't want to get caught up in a false breakout. So we're going to go break even right at this low and protect some capital because, yes, the shorts look really, really good. The only problem is that we're at all-time highs, and with how the market's been moving lately, it has not been too good. Now, this was a banger setup. I mean, you took the IFEG, you go break even pretty early, boom, banger. Two of those data lows, fire. Now next, heading on over to market open, which is right around over here. 9:30 opens, and if you see, look closely, before market open, we get a bunch of these wicks right over here. And what market open does is that market open gets this huge manipulation leg right over here. With this entire manipulation, we come to sweep out this liquidity, which is why I drew this out. You can see the numbers right over here, which is where the money is. We ended up sweeping out all of this liquidity. With that, when we also swept that liquidity, if you look closely, we actually ended up tapping into a beautiful fair value gap right over here that already had an intermediate low. So boom, we have an intermediate low here and the intermediate low here that's still inside the fair value gap because we never closed under. What does price do? Price comes and sweeps out that low. So now we already have a pretty good setup to go long. What happens at 9:30? 9:30 absolutely pumps after we manipulate and sweep all this liquidity. And we end up inversing. Let me take this off the screen for you guys. We end up inversing this beautiful. Always does the same shit. We end up inversing this beautiful IFEG. The 1 minute wasn't too bad. I was looking at the 1 minute. The problem with the 1 minute is that you also have to wait for extra confirmation right over here, which I didn't really like. The 2 minute looked much cleaner in my opinion, just because the fair value gap was over here for the 1 minute. The 2 minute was a much better close. With that being said, it was the last line of defense. This fair value gap was the last line of defense before this high right over here. With this high, you could have entered right over here off the IFEG. You have the high here to use as your break even. Once you're in, price reaches here, you go break even. And I did want to use this as a TP1 because it's all-time highs. And obviously whenever we're in all-time highs, price loves to deliver to it. But the problem with that is that I went in with one mini, and if you guys know, if you trade minis, you can't really like size your position, because if you're trading one mini, you only have one order. You don't have multiple ones. As if you're trading with micros, you go in with 5 contracts, you have 5 orders. So with that being said, I wasn't able to scale, but all I did was I held up to 2,900, because after we take out the previous all-time highs, market just loves to rip. Because if I were to show you guys this, you would know what I'm talking about. This shit just absolutely continues to rip upward. So I set my 2,900 there, and that was a banger setup. I mean, super easy bias. My stop loss was like right around over here, so we got for like a 2R. Super good banger. I mean, what else can you say? With that being said, I think that's going to cover today's trade recap. I mean, it was pretty simple and straightforward. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below in the comment section. I will reply. I literally reply almost immediately. So if you have any questions, just go ahead. Don't be scared. Everybody starts new. Everybody has questions. Go ahead and ask those questions. I'm going to be able to help you guys out. With that being said, we're going to end off today's video. Stay blessed, guys. Stay busy. Enjoy your weekend. And then next week, hopefully we come back with way better price action. Thank you guys so much for watching. And y'all have a good one.